Howdy. So much as ever to talk about, but the one thing I wanted to mention was my ongoing growing disappointment with King Charles. Now, I know he had a formidable mother to live up to, but he, for me, is getting weaker by the day, and seemingly, in my opinion, only ever focuses on agendas, crazy net zero things that don't benefit or strengthen the British people in any way. And linked to that is the fact he is the head of the church. And when was the last time you saw him do anything positive for that subject? Right now, it seems to me that Christianity is under huge attack wherever it goes. And no better example than the horror show that is going on in Syria. The poor Druze people there are living a real nightmare. It is genocidal. It is the darkest of visions you've ever seen. And yet we hear nothing from the likes of Charles, Western leaders, the media, just complete silence. Why do people not seem to care when it comes to Christians? There's been attacks on Christian people for a long time in Africa, like horrific acts on an almost weekly basis, you see. And again, just crickets, just silence from the West, apart from Trump, who held them to account. But nothing is done. These people are left to themselves. There's no outrage, there's no marches. And instead, going back to Syria, we see the West bending over themselves seemingly to welcome the new Syrian leader, who was an ex kind of ISIS member leader. And now chaos has ensued in Syria, whereas before, under Assad, the West couldn't shut up about their hatred of him. But a good person that I follow, called Trekker, who's a wonderful Syrian man, would tell you people lived in peace and no one cared about your religion. It literally wasn't of any interest. And now people are being hunted and attacked in the most horrific of ways. And Assad was an ex-NHS consultant, by the way. But yet the West deemed him complete evil. Whereas a man who literally is evil and who's been part of ISIS and terrorism, they shake his hand. And these people are left alone, just like all the people in Africa that are being persecuted for being Christian. All the people in South Africa. It's a pattern, isn't it? And we've seen hundreds, not hundreds, maybe masses of churches in France, some in Greece, some in Spain, burn, get totally vandalized. Literally some burned to the ground. And nothing. Nobody seems to look into it. No one seems to care. Life goes on. Whereas we know if that was towards somebody else, there would be, again, global outrage. It would be looked into. It would be stamped down upon. But nothing ever happens. You know, the Middle East also used to be predominantly Christian. There were things like Zoroastrianism. Sorry if I haven't said that right. Like Freddie Mercury followed that religion, lots of other religions, but a lot was Christian. And perhaps, maybe I'm wrong, I need a good historian, maybe they were happier, more peaceful times, but no longer. Christianity has very much been changed in those areas. And I would think people would want to protect, you know, in the West, their Christian heritage, culture, background, kind of foundations. That in general, where Christianity has gone, it's created very prosperous, intellectual, advanced, cohesive, peaceful, happy nations. Yes, we had the world wars, but in general, across all the hundreds of years, Christianity has done civilizations a great deal. And yet it is seemingly getting ignored and often just completely unsupported, and where Western nations often seem happy to see it dwindle. And I don't understand that. As I said, as a religion that has generally been extremely successful, it saw a few of its issues, a few areas that needed to improve. It made its New Testament, and people who follow Christianity are very humble, very kind, very giving, very accepting. And as I said, it's always been a great religion in terms of the effect it's had on those that follow it. Yet the Western leaders never seem to support it. Why is that? Where are the leaders? Where is the support? Why don't Western nations want to promote and nurture something that has held them in such good stead for so long? And where is King Charles, head of the church? Where is his support for the British people and his country that have followed such policies and ethics for hundreds of years, and something that his mum was extremely strong and proud about? Where is Charles? It's just, I find it very sad and very disappointing and very confusing. But I think the main thing needs to be focused on right now is the Druze people in Syria. And I pray that the Western leaders do their job and help these people and put a stop to the persecution of what seems to be Christians in many parts across the world.